March 4th, 1944. England. Royal Air Force, Debden Air Base, Essex Sergeant Glessner Beckbucker stood under the left wing of a P-51B Mustang. He was watching his pilot because this mission was the most dangerous and uncertain flight the Mustangs had ever attempted. The pilot was Captain Dominic Gentile, 23 years old, the son of an Italian immigrant family from Ohio, a former RAF Eagle Squadron combat veteran. In just 6 hours, Gentile would be flying to Berlin, an 1,800-kilometer, deadly and terrifying journey, practically a suicide mission. He would escort B-17 bombers all the way to the Nazi capital, and if everything went perfectly, he would live. Beckbucker had been a crew chief in the 336th Squadron of the 4th Fighter Group for almost 20 months. He knew exactly what these aircraft could and could not do. The Mustang in front of him was unlike anything the U.S. Army Air Forces had ever produced. Single engine, a Rolls-Royce Merlin roaring like a beast at high altitude, sleek, powerful, and deadly. But what truly made it legendary was something else. It could fly to Berlin and come back. Not the P-38, not the P-47, only the Mustang. But here was the problem. No one had ever actually tried it before. If the fuel calculations were wrong, if the external tanks didn't function correctly, if the engine burned too much fuel, dozens of pilots would run out of fuel over Germany and die. American bomber crews had already been dying for 18 months. Thousands of young men. They climbed into their B-17 with confidence, and most never returned. Command blamed the German fighters. Too fast, too agile, too many. But the biggest mistake was something else entirely. Doctrine said, bombers can protect each other. In reality, they couldn't. The roots of Black Thursday, August 17th, 1943. B-17S struck Regensburg and Schweinfurt, deep Germany missions. The P-47 escorts couldn't follow, not enough range. The Luftwaffe was waiting. They attacked within minutes, head-on strikes at 600 miles per hour, wings torn apart, bombers exploding mid-air, 60 bombers lost, 550 crew missing. And they had done everything by the book. They still died. 2 months later, they tried again, October 14th, 1943. Schweinfurt 2, a day remembered as Black Thursday. 291 B-17S took off, again, alone. The result, 60 more bombers lost, 650 killed, wounded, captured. Over 20% losses in a single mission. America lost air superiority over Germany. Deep raids were no longer possible. What wasn't the solution? P-47 Thunderbolt, strong, tough, but far too short-ranged. P-38 Lightning. On paper, it had the range, but Europe's cold shut the engines down. The conclusion was clear. Bombers were dying because there was nothing to protect them. And then a miracle appeared. November 1943, the first P-51B Mustangs arrived in England. The Mustang itself wasn't new, but the early Allison engines lacked high-altitude power. Then a genius had an idea. What if we put a British Merlin engine in it? The result? 440 miles per hour speed monster power at high-altitude range deep into Germany. And most important, bombers would never be alone again. The day that changed the war. Now Gentile was climbing into that very aircraft. Every bolt Beckbucker tightened, every fuel calculation he made, every silent prayer would be tested today. Pilot and crew chief locked eyes for a moment. "Come back for me." The engine roared. The Mustang leapt into the sky. The road to Berlin was open, and that day, the course of the war changed, because now America finally had a fighter that was fast, deadly, and able to come home. Its name? P-51 Mustang, and that day, the Mustang became a legend. We will continue sharing more untold stories from World War II. Leave a comment below telling us where you're watching from, and don't forget to like the video. Our community is global. From history students to veterans, aviation enthusiasts to families preserving memories, you're part of something meaningful here. Thank you for remembering. These stories matter. These warriors deserve to be honored. Always.